What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to another video. My name is Justin Falk, previously known as Justin Thomas, so you may recognize me as that name. I am the owner of Insurance Advertising Masters, and on this channel, we teach insurance agents how to control their marketing, how to focus on advertising, marketing, sales, all of that great stuff. In this video, we're going to be going over the understanding and getting a baseline for Facebook ads so you can get an understanding and a feel for the buttons and levers inside what's called the Business Manager, which is the back end of Facebook where you can run ads. A lot of people that have heard of Facebook ads are used to maybe boosting a post, which is great to get some engagement, great to get some likes, and occasionally you may get some business off of it. But when it comes to really running ads for your business and wanting to scale, getting into the back end, the Business Manager in order to run ads is the best way to do that. So today we're going to be going into that. I'm going to show you guys how to set up and create a Business Manager and then how to get in there and what that looks like so you guys can become familiar with it so that in the next tutorials, it won't be something that's going to be completely foreign language to you guys and it's going to make you feel really comfortable. Now, real quick before we get started in here, I do just want to mention if you're not part of our free Facebook group, now is the time to go below into the description below, find that link and join the Facebook group. In that group, we are going through all of the content that I post onto YouTube. I post it into the Facebook group as well, usually with some additional insights, maybe some extra video from me, some Q&A. It just gives more of a place for discussion because I found that me consistently creating content in written form doesn't work. But me taking videos that I like to make, putting it in there and using that group for extra discussion when people want to ask me questions and see how they can actually apply it to their business, that's where the real value comes from. So if you guys are not part of that group, go ahead and join that group now. If you guys really want to take your business seriously and start leveling up your advertising, sales, marketing for your insurance business. So in the last video, we created the baseline of everything that we're going to need going forward, which is a Facebook page. So you guys were on here, you guys saw me create the Facebook page. If you haven't seen that, I'll go ahead and link to that video above here. Look around somewhere. It's either on this side, maybe on this side, but I'll go ahead and link to that so you guys can see it. If you haven't, if you don't have a Facebook page, go check that out first and then come back to here. So the next step when it comes to creating Facebook ads is we have to get into Meta Business Suite or Business Manager as it used to be called. And that's the back end of all of this stuff. So you guys are over here. Remember last time we talked about how you have your page that you can now interact as, but you also most likely are going to have your profile. That's what it's like when you're on Facebook here. So in order to get into the back end, we need to open up a new tab, and it's best to make sure that you are logged into Facebook before you do this. And then we're just going to go to business.facebook.com. And what that's going to do is it's going to take you to your Meta Business Suite. Now, I'm about to go switch to Safari because I run all of my ads through my wife's account. And so I want to get into an account that you guys can actually see. We can do some stuff. But most likely, if you guys do not have a business manager, nothing right here may pop up. You may get a screen that is just kind of like a welcome, or you still may open the Business Meta Suite, but that does not mean that you have a business manager. So what I'd like you guys all to do is go to business.facebook.com/create. And that is going to take you right here to creating a new business manager. So even if when you type in business.facebook.com, it takes you to Business Meta Suite, you still want to create a business manager, which is going to then fall into the Meta Suite, the business suite. So you're going to click on create account. You're going to put in the name of your business here. You're going to put in your name, and then you're going to put in a business email, and then you're going to click submit, and that should get started. I do not want to create a new business manager at this point. I've made a lot of these tutorials in the past. I have a lot of business managers. I don't like to make extra ones at this point, and you guys really shouldn't. In the past, it may have changed, but in the past, you're only allowed to have 2 business managers ever yourself. So don't take these lightly. If you guys are ready for a business manager, then make it. If not, watch this video, and then when you are ready for one, then come back here and implement from this video. So one real quick thing that I do want to talk about is if you guys are running an insurance business, if you're doing anything where you're not like a captive agent that kind of sees this as a job and you don't have the ability to make a business, if If you're anything besides that, I highly encourage you guys to actually register a business and operate through an LLC. It's one thing that gets overlooked, and I understand like wanting to get started, and you should. Like even if you've gotten started, you're making money, and you don't have an LLC, just start this process. It helps in so many different ways. It helps legally. It helps whenever you're going to like create accounts for advertising. All of these companies like to see that it's a real business, that you've actually taken the time to establish something, and that you're not a fly-by-night company. So my recommendation for starting an LLC is just do something simple like LegalZoom. If you have a connection or you already have a lawyer, then obviously just go through them. That's going to be the quickest and easiest route. The second quickest and easiest route is going to be to go through LegalZoom. They can make you an LLC. They can create an operating agreement. The only time that would not be recommended is if you have partners. If you have partners, I would not go the LegalZoom route from personal experience. It does not get you the protection that you would have by actually hiring a lawyer. So if you're creating a business with full-on partners, all that stuff, highly recommend you hire a lawyer. Even though it's going to be expensive, it's going to be far cheaper than if you end up getting in legal trouble and your operating agreement does not say what you want it to say, does not represent the agreement that you had in the way that you and your partner believed it to be. So that's all I'll say about that. If you guys want a full video on like how to make an LLC, how to then take that and get contracts under it so that you're getting paid through your LLC, I can make that video. For a lot of people that may be a little bit more boring, but I've found that there's not a lot of training out there. Not a lot of the IMOs or FMOs are giving much training on that type of stuff, and I've done it many times. I've had to do it for me and my younger brother's insurance agency. I've had to do it for a lot of these other businesses that aren't insurance agencies. So I've done it outside of the insurance space. I've done it inside of the insurance space. And I feel like at this point I have a lot of experience. So if you guys have questions about that, feel free to ask the questions. And if you guys want to see a full-on tutorial video about the best way to establish a business, how to register it, all of the best practices around that, just let me know in the comments below. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. It is important. That's why I wanted to take a second to talk about it, but we're going to keep moving. So put your information in here, click submit. It may ask you for a little bit more info, like your business address, your phone number, all of that stuff. That's why I would recommend getting your business license before filling this stuff out, but you can always come back in and change it if you guys want to just get going. And if you are even after licensing your business, if you just work from home and you want to use your home address, that's totally fine. Put that in here as your business address. It doesn't go public like it would on your Facebook page. It's just internally for Facebook to know. So that's how you that's what you're going to run into as you go through this. So highly suggest going through, well, not highly, you need to make a business manager if you want to run ads. So that's how you do it. Get that done. If you guys have any questions about business managers, all the nuances with it, join the Facebook group and ask me in there. All right. So once you have a business manager, then business.facebook.com is going to have like all of your assets in here. And I could do a full walkthrough on Business MetaSuite at some point as well too. Right now, I want to stick the tutorials to what's going to be the most important to take action. If you guys academically want something like that, again, let me know. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm in this point in time where I know making content is helping people. I've seen it. I've seen the comments. I've seen so much of the lives change of the people that have viewed my business, and it's really fired me up recently to do that. But I want to make content that's relevant to you guys. So please let this be an interactive channel. Let me know what you guys want content on. I'm always searching to find out what you guys want to see, what you want tutorials on, all of that stuff. But for right now, I'm sticking to not the fluff, not the like, what else could you do? Just what do you need to do to start getting some leads in and start making some sales? So once you have your business manager, we're going to go ahead and jump into my main one so you guys can see what that looks like. Now that we are in my business manager, this is what it should look like for you once you're in your business manager. This, unfortunately, is one of the most changed places for Facebook. And I even heard one time that Facebook has 10,000 different variations of Facebook and the business manager, the back-end stuff, out at one point. So that means they're constantly testing what's the best interface. And so mine could look different from 10,000 other people's, which is insane. And if Facebook ever listens to my videos, that's incredibly annoying because it's hard to teach people when you guys are constantly changing and moving around the buttons. So if this ever gets big enough to where Facebook hears it, please stop doing that. Facebook will get you way more business and way more people to use your platform if you stop changing your interface so much. Okay, so once you get in here, you guys probably are not going to see your ad accounts and your pages. So in order to add your page, you just need to go down here to business settings, and it's going to have some different options right here. So you've got the people that are in your business, so you can add yourself. You can add other people in here if you want them to manage your business assets. In order to do that, you just click add people, and then you put their email in here, and then you ideally want to use their Facebook profile email. So ask them what that is, and then you can put them in here. You can give them access to things, all of that stuff. And then also, if you ever hire an advertising agency, you can add them through partners. So that is how you do that in here. And then system users is not going to be super relevant. So people and partners, if you guys ever do an advertising agency, that's the way. Then the next is accounts. We have pages. So this is the Facebook pages that you can link to your business account. So I've got several in here, but the main two that I run, well, I don't even run ads from this one anymore. I almost always run exclusively from my personal one, which we talked about in the last video. But this is not my personal profile. It's my page, my entrepreneur page, which is different because you need to run ads from a page. So I'll show you exactly how to do that right now. So you're going to click on add a page, and then you're just going to search for the one you just made. So the one I just made is right here. I'm going to click on it, and then you would just click add page, and it would bring it into here. I don't want to do that right now, but you do need to do that. So that's where how my other pages are in here. I haven't decided which one I'm going to use and if I'm for sure going to be running from this business manager in the future. So that's why I'm personally not bringing it in here, but you guys need to in order to keep moving forward. So just do it exactly like I showed you and add your page in here. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're not going to have any ad accounts. And as you guys can see, I have several that I have personally disabled. If you guys end up making multiple ad accounts, you're going to want to disable ones that you're not actively using. Otherwise, Facebook will disable them for you. So I would just start by making just one ad account. It's the simplest way. In the past, we've taught to make 5 different ad accounts or 10 in case one gets shut down. But if things get shut down, they're shutting down typically the full business managers anyway. And we're going to go through how to advertise compliantly so you guys don't have to worry about getting shut down. It's definitely not anywhere close to as much of an issue that it used to be back in 2018, 2019. A lot of the Cambridge Analytica stuff was going on, which was causing a massive amount of shutdowns. So it used to be a problem. It really has gotten so much better, which has been great. So you guys are not going to see any ad accounts unless you have one existing. So you guys are going to want to make one. So all you do is click add. You're going to click add an ad account. And sorry, we're not. We're going to click create a new ad account. And then you're going to click put your ad account name. So I'd probably just put the name of your business that you chose for the business manager. And then I would do like 1. Because in the future, if you end up needing to make more than one, then you can have a naming convention and you don't have to go back and have everything be confused. So I would do Insurance Advertising Masters 1. I don't want to add another ad account right now because I have my main ones already. Make sure you choose your time zone and your currency, and then you're good to go. And then you're going to click next, and that will create the ad account for you. If it happens to ask, do you want to add people, then you can assign them. But if it doesn't ask, do you want to add people, then the one thing you're going to want to do is when you make a new ad account, you're going to want to come back up here to people. And if you have other people in your business manager, you're going to want to edit them and make sure that they have full control over everything and that they're assigned to the ad accounts. Because if they're not assigned to the ad accounts, when they go and click on Ads Manager, nothing's going to show up. So you need to make sure if, I'm assigned, and I'm doing this under my wife's account. So she is assigned to the ad account, but you can see ad accounts right here, FEL1A and Justin Thomas, which is why when we're on the home section, those are the only ones showing up. Even though these other ones are technically in the business manager, they're not assigned to me as this user right here. So in order to edit that, you just click add assets, and then you come over here. You want to make sure that they're assigned to the page. you click on the page, and I would suggest if it's you, make sure you give yourself everything. If it's someone else that's managing, there's these different options that you can give them. Again, if you guys have specific questions, join the Facebook group. I'm always there to answer these types of questions because everybody's situation can differ. But if it's you, give yourself full control. If it's ad accounts, you need to come in here. You just made an ad account. Go ahead and add yourself, manage ad account, give yourself full control, save changes, and then you're good to go. And then when we get into the actual ads manager, which is where we're going to go next, it will show up for you. And this is also why naming your ad accounts is super important. So you guys just saw the specific assets that are assigned to me. So then when I come back over here to home, for me, this takes me to Business Manager Home. I've heard from other people when they click on Meta, it takes them back to Business Meta Suite. So if it does that for you, don't worry about it. This stuff's not super important. It makes it easier to get to where you're going in the first place, but you can always get to where you're going by coming up to these menus, clicking. If these show up, then that's the easiest way. Otherwise, there's always a button that says All Tools. Once you're in Business Meta Suite, I'll just show you guys. So if you're over here in Business Meta Suite, you've got your pages, you've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. So you're just going to want to go to All Tools, and then you can get over to Ads Manager that way, or you can come over here and go to Settings, and then Business Settings, and then that'll pop this back up. And then from Business Settings, you should have this menu to go to Ads Manager as well too. So the Business Meta Suite, it's different for everybody. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed with that. The most important thing is we want the Business Manager. We want to bring our page into here. We want to add anybody else that we need to add to the account, which if it's just you, just start with just you. If you have business partners, you can add them in here as well. But bring in the page that you want to be running ads from, and then create an ad account, and then you are good to go. At that point, now we're going to jump in and I'm going to show you guys the Ads Manager, which is the back end of everything, and it's going to be the foundation of all the tutorials I'm going to make going forward. So one quick note, whenever you click on Ads Manager, it may not always bring you to the ad account that you want to be running ads from. And that's something that you really, really want to highly pay attention to when you click into the Ads Manager, because what happens is that every single person that has a profile has a personal ad account. And when you boost posts, that's what it runs it from. When you're running ads in the back end like this, you never want to run ads from your personal ad account, because if your personal ads account gets shut down, it's way more dangerous to everything. It has a way higher chance of shutting everything else down. So I never recommend running it under your personal ads account. This is another reason why it's really good to name your ad accounts in a really good way, because if I had my profile named Justin Thomas and this ad account is also named Justin Thomas, that could be very confusing. But the thing that's going to indicate to you whether or not it's your personal ads account is it's going to be your profile's name as this bolded thing, and the bolded thing is the Business Manager it's under. So don't name your Business Manager your personal first and last name, because then it's also going to be very hard to tell these things apart. So you want to go under the Business Manager. You're going to see the ad account that you just did. You assigned yourself to. It should show up, and it should be your business's name. You can go in and change the name of it. And if you did name it your first and last name, and you also named your Business Manager your first and last name, go back and change those things now so you can keep these things apart. Anyway, all right, we're going to come into here. Justin Thomas is the main account. This may be the view you guys see. This also may be the view you guys see. Sometimes when you pop in here, it's going to go to Accounts Overview. And then in order to get to, I really never look at this page. There's not much on here that I pay attention to. I always click down to Campaigns. This is where I live. So as you can see, over the last several years, we've extensively used Facebook ads a lot for our business. So anyway, you guys are not going to have all of this stuff. You guys are probably going to have a blank slate if this is the first time that you've been into Business Manager, if you've done anything with Business Manager. So today I want to walk you through the Ads Manager, the back end, what it looks like, give you a foundation, because it's going to be a nice understanding to then when we start implementing things a little quicker in future tutorials, everything's going to click for you guys. So You got campaigns, which are, you got to think of these things as like, they all kind of like drawers, right? So like, or files. So campaigns is, let's start first. The ad account specifically is the filing cabinet, okay? Your ad account is your filing cabinet. There are times when you start to scale that you may end up having multiple ad accounts, which you can think of that as multiple different filing cabinets. Then campaigns, I would call that the different drawers. And then the ad sets are the different folders inside of the drawers. And then the ads are the pieces of paper that are individually in each folder. So you have the ad account, and then under ad account, you have the campaigns, which we'll get into how I like to split those up. Really, you have so much freedom to do it however you want. I just have specific ways that I like to do it because it helps me keep organized. Then I will teach you guys that as we move along these tutorials. So you have campaigns, and then inside of each campaign, you have ad sets. So if you just come over here and click on ad sets, you're going to see every single ad set inside of every single campaign, which can get very confusing because it's as if you basically just clicked a button that then took all of the folders outside of the drawers, and there was no more organization. So I almost never just click straight over to ad sets unless I have one of these selected. And then once I have it selected, then it's only going to bring up the ad sets inside of that specific campaign. So again, you guys are not going to have, most likely if you just started, you guys are not going to have this data right now until you make your first campaign ad set and ad. But you always want to keep an eye on what tab you're under, because sometimes people don't know what tab they're under and they see me click create. Well, if you were under ad and you click create, but instead we wanted to be under campaign, it's only going to create an ad. It's not going to create a campaign. So at all times, be cognizant of, are you under the campaigns tab? Are you under the ad sets tab? Are you under the ads tab? So that's how those work. You have the ad account, that is the filing cabinet. You have the campaigns, and that's the drawers. You have the ad sets, and that's the folders. And then you have the ads, which are the individual pieces of paper. So it just creates a nice amount of organization. So, and the only other thing too is that instead of just selecting and clicking ad sets, if you click on this button to click, it's going to take you into all the ad sets for that specific campaign. And then these are all the ad sets now. So then if you want to look at all of the ads that are inside of this specific ad set, you can do what we did before. You can select it, and then you can click ads, or you can just click it and it's going to open the ads inside of here. So that's a kind of a rundown of how all this works. The only other important thing to remember is that if you want to edit this and edit the settings, you can't click on it because that just opens the ad sets inside of it. You need to highlight it, and then you need to click edit, and that brings up the settings inside of it. And we're going to get in the settings here in a second. Same with ad sets. If we have an ad set, we want to change the settings. Maybe we want to change the age we're targeting, which I don't recommend changing things with a live ad. But if you wanted to, we could click edit to go see the settings inside of it. And finally, same thing with ads. If you can't click ads because there's nothing deeper that you can go into, but if you want to edit the settings, you click on edit. And then duplicate's pretty straightforward. It's going to duplicate, and then you can choose, do you want to keep it inside the same ad set? Do you want to keep it inside the same campaign? All of that stuff. These are things that we'll get into later. They're useful, but I don't want to overwhelm you right now. So recap, biggest things we want to understand is that the ad account is, we always want to make sure that we're using a specific ad account for our business. We don't want to use our personal ads account. Then your ad account is your filing cabinet. The campaigns are the drawers. The ad sets are the folders, and the ads are the pieces of paper. All right, so now let's jump in here as if this is brand new. So imagine there's nothing in here, and I just want to create a campaign from the get-go. We always want to just create from the campaign section to start out with, unless, and then in the future, once you have existing campaigns, if you want to add more ad sets, more folders to that, then you can click create inside of here. Or if you want to add more ads, you can click create inside of here. But to start with, it always makes sense to make sure you're on the campaigns tab and you want to click create. So now we're going to get into the objectives of Facebook ads. So this is really like understanding the buttons and levers and like what Facebook ads can do. So there are 6 different overarching objectives, and each one of these objectives has a different subsection of things that you can do inside of this. So I'll just tell you right now, I pretty much only ever use leads and sales. Sometimes I'll use an engagement campaign to create a likes campaign, which is my nice initial first campaign in order to get Facebook to trust me and like me. But after that, I'm pretty much only ever using leads and sales. I also will sometimes use engagement for video views. So I can get you guys some of these strategies as well as we move along. Again, all the tutorials and things I'm going to be making come from what you guys give me feedback in, what you want to see. So do not be shy in the comments. Give me the feedback on what you guys want to learn. But let's get into this. So awareness. So awareness is used to show your ads to people who are most likely to remember them. Really, awareness is great if you're a large brand and you just want to show your ads for the cheapest that you possibly can, but it doesn't do a great job of driving results. So inside of awareness, the different types of sub-objectives that you can run is reach. So this is literally just designed to show this to the maximum number of people who may be interested in your brand. It's really just to get brand recognition out there. It's not something I suggest anybody that is under $100 million or even more than that thinking about using. It's not, I just wouldn't use it. Brand awareness is going to be similar. It's really just to get brand awareness out there. It's not something that I would spend money on. It doesn't create a return. Video views. Video views is designed to reach people who are more likely to watch your videos. Basically, it's just designed to get you the most views possible of people that would be interested in the videos that you want to use. So where I'll use the video views campaigns is in order to manufacture and create my own audiences. So in later tutorials, we'll get in here and you'll see that Facebook has a whole slew of targeting options from all the data that they have on people. However, they're not always perfect. And there's a lot less in today's day and age, 2023 going into 2024, than there was when I first started back in 2017. And especially right around 2020, there were tons of targeting options. But when Facebook got in trouble with Cambridge Analytica, they took away a ton of those options. And so there still is a good amount of options, but sometimes it's worth creating your own audience. And so the nice thing is you can run a video views campaign at $5 a day or more, depending on how aggressive you want to be. And you can go in and just let that run across Facebook, which is going to get views on it. And then you can target certain segments of how much of the video people have watched. So if somebody watched 50% or more of the video, you can target that. If people watch 95% of the more of the video, you can target that. So if I make a very specific tutorial on how to run Facebook ads for insurance agents, and I want to find insurance agents that are interested in running Facebook ads, then I would just run that video for a month or 2 months at $5 to $10 a day. All of a sudden, I'm going to get thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. And then I set that to like who watched 95% of that video. I manufactured my own audience into what is great. So now let me tell you guys how you can use that for insurance. So if you make a video on what's the difference between Medicare Supplement versus Medicare Advantage, you use a video views campaign, you run that for a couple months, you get hundreds of thousands of views. Now all of a sudden, the people that stayed and watched 95% of that, they're going to be pretty interested in learning about Medicare, and they're also going to be okay hearing the sound of your voice, which is going to be a pretty good indication that that's going to be a nice audience to target to send them to a webinar or something like that. This is where we're getting a little bit more advanced, but I want you guys to theoretically understand how I think about all of this stuff. Now, if you're selling IULs or cash value life insurance to real estate investors, the best video you could make is a YouTube style video educating them on how somebody could use the infinite banking concept or cash value life insurance in order to purchase a property, have that money go back into their policy rather than a bank, and now they have all the benefits of life insurance. If you make that video, it's going to manufacture your own audience. So you guys hopefully are starting to have the wheels turning. Maybe you do final expense. Maybe you want to make a short 3-minute video on the benefits of final expense, why term insurance is not great as you get older and unhealthier because it keeps getting more and more and more expensive, whatever it may be, some sort of educational video that you can put out there to manufacture your own audience and get a leg up on all of your competitors. So that's where I'll use the video views option. Store location awareness. So this is if you have a physical store. Again, even if you do have a physical store, I probably wouldn't use this because it's not incredibly useful, in my opinion. Traffic is, in my opinion, the biggest way to burn your money. Light it on fire and never get any use out of it. It mimics everything that the leads and sales conversions campaigns do, but it drives bot traffic. It drives junk traffic, and you never get the conversions out of it. You're going to get tons of clicks for cheap, but you're not going to get leads. You're not going to get appointments, and you're definitely not going to get sales if you can't get those first two. So just stay away from traffic all in all. Engagement. That is another place where video views exist. So you have video views and awareness, which is designed to get people to watch, to get the most video views, and engagement is reach people who are more likely to watch. I'm pretty sure that it's the same. I don't know that there's a big difference. It may be worth doing both and testing and see if you get a different result. But regardless, if people are watching 95% of your video, they're going to be interested. The one thing that I could think of is engagement is definitely going to be a more expensive campaign than awareness. So you may get cheaper doing awareness, but with that, it could be like traffic where you're getting junk traffic, potentially bots to your views, so your video views. So I would definitely test that if you want to run that video views campaign. I've done both in the past. I haven't ran a video views in a while because I've got my audience manufactured pretty well. But in the past, they only had one option for video views. So this is the first time where they split it into two, and it may be the exact same, but I think that that's worth a test. One thing you guys are going to start realizing as you get into marketing is a huge lever for that you can pull when it comes to marketing and controlling it yourself is testing. It's just one test versus another. So engagement, Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp ads. So you can create ads that are going to have the call to action to get people to inbound message you from seeing ads. This reminds me of something that we used to do that I was never a huge fan of, but people went crazy for it, were messenger bots. These were huge back in the day. Now there's AI and driving people into Go High Level where there's texting automations and all this stuff. So messenger bots inside of Facebook Messenger have pretty much died out. But one thing that, I learned from that is people and insurance agents are always like, what's the next shiny thing? And I think testing new stuff can be beneficial and it can be worth it. But I would suggest doing that as like a small test and just start with the things that we know that works, which is leads and sales. But this is a way that you can drive people to inbound message you through running ads on Facebook and Instagram. Back at video views, same thing I already talked about, post engagement. So this is where if you want to do a page likes campaign, this is the place to do it. You can also do conversions in here, but if you're going to do conversions, I want conversions for leads and I want conversions for sales. I don't want conversions for people engaging. And then you can do calls as well, but you can also do calls for leads and you can also do calls for sales. And that's what I would do if you are looking for driving inbound calls, not engagement. The one thing to note, okay, is that as we go from here to here, Facebook is going to charge you more to run the ads because they're going to people that they know are more likely to do this thing. Leads is going to find you people that are more likely to become a lead, and sales is going to find you people that are more likely to pull out their credit card and spend money because Facebook has data on them doing that on Facebook. So for the most part though, I live in this leads campaign and this is a big note. We're going to get to this into further tutorials. When you are under 10K a month and you want to keep it simple, and this is what most of my tutorials on YouTube are going to be about, we're going to do instant forms where you don't have to learn how to do funnels. You don't have to learn how to do automations. You don't have to learn how to design landing pages. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It's all native to Facebook. Once you get above 10K and you're no longer interested in chasing people, you just want people to come to you, we always want to move to conversions and drive people into funnels. So I'll talk a lot about that on future videos. But regardless, I'm almost always living in the leads campaign because it gets me what I want and it's cheaper than running sales. And because we're not in insurance running an e-com type business where people can actually pull out their credit card and put it in for insurance, at least not right now, for the most part, we're mostly looking for leads because we're going to be getting on calls. The conversions that we're looking for are booked appointments, people filling out their information, becoming leads, all that stuff. So I don't want to pay the premium price, and I've tested them both, and leads tends to get cheaper conversions than sales conversions do. If you're watching this and you do e-com and you just like watching stuff, definitely test out the sales, because that's going to find you people that have shown the behavior pattern on Facebook that they will pull out their credit card and actually become a sale on your website. Okay, so inside of leads, I've already explained this. Instant forms, this is where a ton of the tutorials that I'm making are going to be, and this is where I would spend your time if you're below 6 figures right now, because it's the simplest way to get leads coming in to run Facebook ads. You don't have to create all these other assets. You don't have to spend tons of time doing a lot of the things that are needed to get people to come to you, but it is going to get somebody to raise their hand. They're showing interest in typically final expense or mortgage protection. I would personally never do instant forms for IULs, cash value life insurance, annuities, any of that stuff that requires a little bit more education. You will get conversions. I see tons of people out there running IUL ads with lead forms, but what that tells me is that they don't know how to use funnels and they don't know how to use what I like to use, which is a sales video to educate people and get them to come to me. And the problem is that you will get conversions, but your show up rate is going to be garbage. If you're just starting out, if you're below 6 figures, instant forms are great. It's simple. That's, again, where most of my tutorials are going to be on here, to teach people how to get to the 6-figure mark. And then once you get there, the saying is so true: what got you here will not get you there. And so you need to adapt. You need to learn how to flip the script, get people coming to you so you can stop being inefficient, leverage up your time to where you're only spending time doing revenue generating activities and you're letting the marketing and automations do all of the manual chasing for you, which actually isn't chasing because everybody knows that it's being done by advertising, and it gets people to come to you, which switches your positioning. Anyway, I'll talk about that a lot more in further videos, but if you guys are already above, getting close to 6 figures or above it, and you want to learn how to get people to come to you using funnels and videos to where they're already pre-educated, they know what you want to talk to them about and how you're going to help them, you can always book a call with us. There'll be a link in the description for that. So we have leads, we have instant forms, we have Messenger and Instagram as well, conversions and calls. App promotion is not something that we're going to use unless you guys have a physical app that you've created. But if you are, there's probably other channels that talk about running Facebook ads and YouTube ads and TikTok ads for that. I'm talking about it for insurance agents. So if you're an insurance agent, we're not going to use app promotions. And if you are an insurance agent, for the most part, I'd suggest sticking in leads, not sales, even though conversions and all that stuff lives underneath the sales objective as well too. But typically we're going to stick into leads, and that really gives us a good overview. I know this video is getting long. There is a bit more that we could go into just so you guys have an academic understanding. I can show you guys super quickly just the bare bones of this stuff, because again, this is a foundation. When we get into further videos, I'm going to be walking you through and showing you exactly step by step, click by click, what to be doing. This is explaining more of the why and the foundation, so that'll make those videos so much easier for you guys to execute on. So we'll just do a bare bones walkthrough. I always like manual campaign. So we're going to come in here. What it's going to do is it's going to initially open the campaign, and then you have the ad set, which, remember, the campaign's the drawer, the ad set's the folder, and then the ad is the piece of paper inside of it. So we talked about it earlier. Along the top, it showed campaign, ad sets, and ads. Once you create a new one, it all just lives right in here. So you have the campaigns, the ad set, and the ads. You have the campaign, the ad set, and the ads. These buttons do the same thing that they do along the top. The campaign settings are pretty simple. There's not much that we ever want to change here. If we do, I'll get into it in specific videos, but for the most part, you guys are not going to be running ads for credit, employment, housing, or social issues. So don't click on this stuff. It makes it hurts your ad account. If you guys are running ads for that stuff, then do. But for the most part, if you guys are running ads for insurance or financial planning, you do not fall under these categories, so you don't have to. So that's campaign settings. Those are pretty simple. Ad set settings. So these are the different places we can drive leads. So if you have a website, we're doing conversions that bring bring it to a website. If you guys want to do instant forms, that's again where most of my tutorials are going to lie, where you don't have to create a website. It's all nicely in Facebook. But this is where you select like what the actual goal of the ad set is and like what it's doing. But again, that's just like so you guys understand it. In later videos, I'll specifically tell you what to do. The next thing, we can come in here and we can choose our budget. So we set how much we want it to spend per day, and we set that at the ad set level. There are ways to set it at the campaign level, but that's more advanced. We'll maybe focus on that later. So you just set how much you want to spend per day, and more than likely you guys are going to have multiple campaigns going because we want to give Facebook a good test. So I always like to start this out at $10. Just keep it low. And then you'll probably have multiple ad sets, so maybe like 3 to 5 ad sets that you launch with. So then you'll be at $30 to $50 a day, but only spending 10 per ad set so that we can test without blowing our budget. This is where you can set the date and start time. I don't like to send an end date for the most part. I like to run ads 24/7, 365. And this is where we can select our audience controls. So where right now it's set for the entire United States. You guys can do cities, you can do states, you can do 25-mile radius. Let's say I wanted to do Omaha. I wanted to do face-to-face appointments, 25-mile radius, boom, right there. There's so many different things you guys can do with locations. If you guys have specific questions about that, you can ask me. Otherwise, just get in here and start looking at it. Next thing is our audience. Click to switch to original audience options. We can come in here and we can select our targeting. So custom audiences, that's something different. We'll get into that later. We can choose our location right here. We can choose our age range that we want to choose right here. Gender, we can choose demographics right here. This is where detailed targeting comes in. So this is where we can put in certain interests that Facebook has available. We'll get into that in a completely different video. Targeting is a whole thing on its own. We got to do that in its own video, and it's highly dependent on who you're trying to target and who you're trying to attract to you. Placements, this shows you like where on Facebook you want to show your ads. You can, for the most part these days, Advantage Plus is pretty good. Facebook just uses its machine learning to do it for you, but you can come in here and literally select everywhere that you want to show. And again, depending on who you're targeting, these things matter. That's mostly the settings in here. And then you have the ad as well, where you come in here, you can select your image or your video, put it in here. Your ad copy goes here, all that stuff. In later videos, we're going to have full-on walkthroughs of exactly how to do this in order to get leads, all of that stuff. But I'm just giving you guys an overview at this point. I feel like that is enough to get you guys a really good understanding, a really good baseline, a really good initial foundation in order to really crush it when we have the future tutorials that are walking you through exactly step-by-step how to do this stuff. So one last thing real quick up here. So we have, anytime you're doing something in here, any change you make, it creates these changes, and until you publish them, they sit and live in here. So sometimes people will go in and make changes, and then they'll forget to publish it, and then they'll make a bunch of changes, and you'll see this is at like 30 changes, and then you've kind of screwed yourself because you don't know what all you've changed. So I'd always keep an eye on this to make sure that if you make a change and you want to publish it, just go ahead and publish it right here. Click on review. It's going to show you like what these things are that you did, and then you're going to click publish. Otherwise, right now I'm just messing around, so I want to get rid of all those things and bring it back to where I was, and I'm just going to discard drafts. Boom. Okay, awesome, guys. That is the end of this video. That was the foundation. So now you guys should have a really good understanding of the back end of running ads, of how we actually do it when we're trying to drive revenue, leads, sales, all that stuff for our business. That is the professional way to do it, and that's the back end. So you guys now have a foundation that's going to be great for these future tutorials that are coming up, as I'm going to walk you through so you guys can stick along with us step by step, click by click. Awesome. I hope you guys got a ton of value from that. If you did, please hit the like button below. Please hit the subscribe button. And if you're interested in actually taking your business seriously and growing your insurance business, join that Facebook group in the comments below. All right, we'll see you on the next one.